You know what made early 2000s car culture special? It was the individual craving to stand out, the unspoken respect amongst the community and family. Okay, maybe not the last one, but kind of, because as petrolheads, we are just one big family. However, we're struggling a bit. Now you may be wondering, what am I on about, because the stats show that the car scene is bigger than it's ever been. However, if you take a closer look at the numbers, what percentage of those are actual car enthusiasts versus the people who show up in the scene just to show off, aka posers. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about people who know nothing about cars showing up to meets. There's nothing wrong with that. We all started somewhere. I am, however, talking about the people who do dumb things at car meets and get the cops called. And worst of all, people who have bigger egos than the crater Elon created when his rocket crashed into the moon. You know, the dude with his almost standard Hyundai Getz with an airbox that apparently kept the Golf 7R on the highway. I think we all know that dude. So if you are a thoroughbred petrolhead and you haven't really been feeling that love for the car scene lately, I don't blame you. However, this is a reminder of why you and I petrolheads love cars, and here's some things you can do to fall back in love with the car scene. Number 1, throw on some OG Top Gear. OG Top Gear is one of those shows that will forever live rent-free, not just in our heads, but in our hearts. Right here. Or is it your? Anyways, the legendary thrill that single-handedly turned millions of people, young and old, into absolute motorheads. And the epic thing about OG Top Gear is that it isn't the nostalgia in our brains tricking us to think that the show was great. The show itself was actually bloody good. Which means one of the best ways for you to fall back in love with the car scene is to throw on some OG Top Gear. Just search it up on YouTube and relive some of those amazing episodes. Number 2, early 2000s Need for Speed games. Everything from Most Wanted to Underground 2 and even Carbon. If Top Gear was the show that made you want to own fun cars, this era of racing games made you want to modify the absolute daylights out of it. And these games are the reason why a lot of us ended up rolling down the road in our first cars with a muffled elite, a hot air intake, and a sub in the boot loud enough to rattle your neighbor's windows. So if you want to fall back in love with the car scene, load up one of these OG Need for Speed games on an old laptop, PC or console, and re-experience those old but gold Need for Speed games. The game that was responsible for a lot of us falling in love with cars in the first place. Number 3, proper petrolhead movies. The original Fast and Furious, Born to Race, Gone in 60 Seconds, and Need for Speed. These movies will make you instantly fall back in love with the car scene, and chances are you haven't watched him in a minute. Whether it be iconic hero cars like an orange Supra, an old school GT500 named Eleanor, a supercar slaying Ford Mustang built by a small group of petrolheads, or even a modded Subi that won the high school drags. These movies just have a way of getting a car enthusiast drunk on nostalgia, and it's a major reminder of why we fell in love with cars in the first place. Now if you want to watch these old but gold films, the Fast and Furious are on Netflix, Born to Race and Need for Speed on YouTube, and you can watch them in 4K, which is pretty sick. And Gone in 60 Seconds is worth picking up on DVD because YouTube does have it, but the iconic soundtrack is pulled, probably due to copyright. And trust me, you're gonna wanna watch a movie with its original soundtrack. Seriously guys, if you're not feeling the car scene right now, take some time to watch these movies and thank me later. Number 5 on the list, go and do an early 2000s mod on your car and allow that nostalgia to come rushing back. However, an early 2000s mod within reason. I'm not saying throw spinners on your ride. There was a time and place for those things, and it died a deserving death. I'm talking a mod that's slowly coming back, like a clean underglow setup. Or even pick up some OG 5-spoke rims, or any rare rims for that matter, get them refurbished, and throw them on your ride. Just literally do anything that gets you working on your car again. Because I guarantee you there's something that happens in a petrolhead's brain when you just take a wrench to a car, man. Seriously guys, it's worth it. Do something simple enough to where you won't have to take it to a shop, but something complicated enough that will get your brain actually working. And if you mess something up, we always have ChrisFix. So with that being said, I'm talking to the petrolheads right now. I hope you guys try some of these things out, and I hope it gets you back to loving the car scene. And remember, us car enthusiasts are a family and a community. One that doesn't judge you based off your skin color, your height, or your personality. Just a community that loves high-octane drag racing, lowered cars, and Top Gear. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you next time.